Hey besties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, then hello, welcome. I'm Jazz. And if this is your second, third, fifth, fourth, or whatever time here, then welcome back and I love you. Today's video is gonna be so exciting because I grew up on YouTube and I would always watch like other beauty gurus do their like favorite products of the year at the end of the year. So I've always wanted to do one of these and now I get to. It is the end of the year and this year was a year for buying makeup. Like, I can't even start to think how much makeup came out, but I stuck to favorites. I bought some new favorites. Like, we're gonna go through the list of all my favorites makeup products of the year. Okay, the first category we're gonna do is brows, and I'm actually not gonna divide that up into like brow gel and brow pomade and brow pencil. Like, we're just gonna do them all together because I don't have that many favorites. I'm really picky about my brow products, which is why I only have these solids. Also, if you look at my brows right now, they don't look that good because I haven't gotten them done. Well, I did them myself, but I haven't done them in a while, so do not judge me based off my brows right now, please. Okay, first favorite brow product is gonna be the got2b Glued Spiking Gel. This is not even a legit brow product. Like, this isn't meant for your brows. I think about a year ago, I saw somebody on TikTok using this for their brows and nothing ever held up my brows. I tried so many different brow products, brow gels, like whatever, you name it, I tried them. Nothing held them up except this. But this does leave kind of like a white residue. So when I heard that they were coming out with the got2b actual like brow and edges gel, this stuff is amazing. It is more of a clear formula, so it works way better for my brows, and it definitely replaced this, but these two are just like my holy grail, and I will probably never use a different brow gel other than this one. For brow pencil, I do really love this Kosas one. I feel like it lasts all day. I love the applicator. I love the spoolie at the end. I also really like this color. I think it's the dark brown one. I'm not quite sure, but I just feel like it's the perfect brow pencil. And another brow product from Kosas is the Air Brow, but the tinted one. I think people have said that they like the clear one as well. I have tried it out. It's just, it doesn't hold up my brows well. So what I like to do is I like to use this one to hold up my brows, but I go in with this one afterwards. And because it's tinted, it gives me like the perfect fluffy brow and just kind of fills in the gaps where I don't have hair. So these three in combination is my ultimate go-to brow combo. So I completely forgot to mention, I'm not gonna include primers in this video because I'm honestly not a fan of primers. I don't feel like I need them, and I do pretty well with just doing a solid skincare routine before, so no primers will be included in this video. We're gonna move on to our second category, which are concealers. Now, this one is hard because I am a concealer girl through and through. So many new makeup products come out and nothing really catches my attention except a good concealer. So we're gonna start off with my number one favorite concealer, which is the Born This Way by Too Faced concealer. I definitely started using this last year, not this year, and it is my favorite go-to concealer ever. I ramble about this concealer all the time. It doesn't crease on me, it doesn't pill, it doesn't separate, it lasts all day. Like, it's just amazing. The coverage is amazing. It's good for my dry skin. Like, honestly, this is just my go-to concealer, like my number one. Moving on to the second favorite concealer, and it's gonna be the Kosas one. Again, I have dry skin, so this stuff is just amazing for my dry skin. It's super hydrating, has amazing coverage, blends out really well. I'm not the biggest fan of it all the time, but when I do reach for it, I get reminded of why I love it so much and why it's so popular. It's amazing. My third favorite concealer that I reached for this year was the one by Armani. This concealer is the perfect, like, hydrating, natural finish concealer. I can't even like begin to explain how it looks on the skin. It is beautiful. It is stunning. My only complaint is that the coverage is like so you kind of have to layer it, but other than that, I love this concealer. Sometimes I'll even apply it on top of like this concealer because it provides such a like glowy finish. I can't even like, this is just an amazing concealer. Okay, next on my list, we're gonna stick to like the liquid formulas and we're gonna move on to foundations. My number one favorite foundation this year by far was the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. That's always like a tongue twister for me. I just can never say it. Light Reflecting Foundation by NARS. This stuff, I think I got it mid-year, and that says a lot. I didn't even have it the full 2022, and it quickly rose up to be my number one. I reach for this foundation all the time. Glowy, beautiful, natural finish. I'm wearing it right now. Doesn't pill, doesn't crease, doesn't like set into my fine lines, doesn't separate. It's honestly like the perfect foundation. Like, I don't know why if you have this, you would want another foundation. I think the only reason might be if you have like really oily skin, this might not work for you because it is kind of hydrating, but I have dry skin. This stuff is just amazing. My second favorite foundation is gonna be very similar to that one. Honestly, I think this one's actually kind of a dupe. It's the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. These two are super similar in my opinion, so if you want something like this but it's not in your price range, then I definitely recommend this one because I feel like they're almost the exact same thing. My third favorite foundation of the year was the Armani Luminous Silk. This stuff is super popular in the makeup community and I didn't understand why until this year. This foundation is gonna give you like the most what it says, luminous glow, like natural looking finish, but the coverage is amazing. I don't know what's in here, but it's good. Now, this foundation was not a favorite of 2022, but I just want to give an honorable mention to this foundation because it was my first ever foundation and it held on for like 2 to 3 years. I used to love this foundation and I'm pretty sure I was even using it at the beginning of this year, but honestly, it just got knocked off my top list. But I just wanted to give an honorable mention because I feel like we just need to give it an honorable mention. We're gonna move on to powders now, and you guessed it, my number one, the Laura Mercier powder. This powder has held on at the top of my list of all favorite powders since high school. It was my first ever translucent setting powder and it's still my number one. It never does me dirty. It's perfect. I don't see myself purchasing a different powder. Maybe I could try it out, but I don't see myself replacing a different favorite powder with this one because this is just my holy grail powder. Also, the biggest thing for me is no flashback. This gives me absolutely no flashback. Doesn't crease. It sets my under eyes so like perfectly. I could just talk about this powder forever. It's my number one. It's my favorite. My second favorite powder of the year is gonna be this little Charlotte Tilbury powder. This is their pressed powder. I only have it in the size mini because I wanted to try it out before buying the full size. And after I run out of this, I'm definitely going to be purchasing the full size. I think this setting powder is just amazing. Sometimes after setting my makeup with this powder, I like to take a little brush and just make sure like in the creases of my nose and under my eyes that this truly like really locks everything in, and it does. This little thing is magical. And my third favorite powder of the year is gonna be the Kosas Cloud Set powder. I don't know what's in here. But somehow it sets in my makeup and makes my concealer look phenomenal without taking away my glow. I really don't know how it does it. So if you like a very glowy finish to your makeup, you would love this powder. It is really great. I usually reach for this on days when I don't want to wear like a full this and this. This just does the job. Okay, we're gonna move on to contours and bronzers, and I'm obviously gonna separate the two because they are kind of different. First contour, you guessed it. If you literally watch any of my content, you will know that my number one contour this year was the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. I think I got this for Christmas last year, and I have been using this up almost every time I do my makeup. I have literally been using this up. I love this contour wand. It's the perfect color. It blends in beautifully. It has everything I could ever want in a contour, especially a liquid contour. My only complaint is this packaging. What is this packaging? Like, it is so muddy and dirty in here. Like, I can't contain this any longer. I wish it came in like tube form that I could just take out and apply directly. That's my only complaint, but I love this contour. I reach for it every single time. My second favorite contour this year was the Makeup by Mario contour stick. Again, this is just the perfect contour color. It's not too brown, it's not too like orange, but it's not too like cool and gray toned. Blends in like a dream. I do apply this with my brush, so I'll take my brush and I'll apply directly to the product and into my skin, but it blends in so beautifully. It lasts all day, doesn't look weird on my skin, doesn't like separate, nothing. Like, this is an amazing product. I do have to give an honorable mention to this recent dupe that I've been using for this contour wand. So if you want to try this out, but again, not in your price range, this stuff, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's amazing. Now, my last favorite contour. This one, I don't know if this one's gonna be well accepted because it is by Kat Von D. I'm pretty sure the name of the brand is KVD now. It doesn't even stand for Kat Von D. But I got this in high school. It was the contour palette. I have been using this shade right here. This one right here. It's Hitting Pan. I have been using that shade since high school. It is the perfect contour shade. It really gives you that like chiseled, snatched look. I have not been able to find another powder like this one because it's the perfect shade and the perfect formula. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know in the comments because I'm about to run out. Like I've already hit pan and I'm not about to repurchase this whole palette just for that shade. Anyways, we're gonna move on to bronzers. This one's gonna be kind of underwhelming because I actually don't have many bronzers. My first favorite bronzer is the Butter Bronzer. I have been using this since high school. It still remains a favorite. I love this bronzer. It is a powder bronzer, but it leaves like a really luminous and glowy finish. It doesn't completely like dry you out, which is why I love it. And since I have so many liquid contours, I like to use a powder bronzer to kind of set everything in. So I'm not a big fan of like liquid or stick bronzers. Moving on to number 2 is the Makeup by Mario Skin Perfector. Technically not a bronzer, but I've seen him use it as a bronzer, so I'm gonna count it as a bronzer. And honestly, these two products are very similar. I truly think this is a dupe. I talked about this in like my past 2 videos. These two are freakishly similar. Again, very underwhelming. These were my only 2 favorite bronzers of the year. Maybe this is my year to go out and discover some new bronzers. Okay, we're gonna move on to blushes, and I'm gonna do this one in 2 categories because I feel like it's only fair. We're gonna do liquid blushes and powder blushes, and let's just go ahead. Let's just run through this. First category, liquid blushes. My favorite number 1 liquid blush is, of course, you guessed it, the Rare Beauty liquid blushes. Super pigmented, blends in like a dream. They have such a good variety of colors. I think I have almost every color. Lasts all day, and that is my biggest thing, that it lasts all day, because blush is usually the first thing to go on your makeup, and I think this little bottle is definitely worth your money because it's gonna last you forever. So this is my number 1 blush of the year. My number 2 liquid or cream blush of the year is the Makeup by Mario blush, and this is in the shade Raspberry. It looks dirty. It looks dirty, but that's because I'm always like stabbing my brush into it. But this blush is so good. It blends in amazingly, and the color is so cute, and also lasts all day, which is another plus for me. My third favorite liquid blush of the year is gonna be the Benetint. Honestly, I don't even know if it counts as blush because it's more of like a cheek stain, but this stuff is gonna last you all day. It's gonna last you all day because it stains your cheek. I also just love the color. It's kind of different than these 2 colors, which are super like pink. This gives you more of like a flushed, natural, like, I don't know, like a glow almost. So I've definitely been reaching for this one. I also use it for my lips, and yeah, I think if I were to run out of this, I'm definitely gonna go repurchase this. Chestnut praline latte. So good. Anyways, we're moving on to powder blushes. For powder blushes, I am looking at them. I'm looking at them in front of me, and I've realized there is a pattern with my powder blushes. Because why are they all the same shade? Why are they all literally baby pink? I don't know. I just feel like topping off a blush, any color blush, with like a good baby pink powder, it just is a perfect combination. My number 1 favorite powder blush is gonna be the Dior Rosy Glow Blush. I bought this not too early in 2022, and again, one of those products that quickly became one of my favorites. I just think it's the prettiest little baby pink blush, and honestly, is it worth the hype? Maybe not. Is it worth the price? No. It's not worth the price, but I would repurchase it because I love it and I think it's so cute. If you want a dupe for that though, if you want a dupe, because you know, I just have to throw out the dupes. Like, I feel like I cannot gatekeep. I am the opposite of gatekeeper. Like, I need you to know this information. This Kaleidos or Kaleidos, I don't know how to pronounce it because literally no one talks about this brand. I'm not quite sure why. They might be kind of new. Honestly, I haven't done my research, but they sent me this blush. A dupe. That is a straight up dupe. It's super, I think it's actually more pigmented than the Dior one, but they're the same color, and I've been reaching for this literally all the time. It is amazing. And my third favorite powder blush is gonna be the Bubble Blush by Persona Cosmetics. Again, beautiful blush, super pigmented, and blends in really well. Honestly, this upcoming year might be my year to discover more powder blushes because they're literally all the same baby pink. Okay, we're gonna move on to mascaras, and my first #1 favorite mascara, again, if you literally watch any of my content, you should know this. You should know the answer to this. And it is the Telescopic Mascara. This stuff is so amazing. #1, it's affordable. Okay, super cheap drugstore mascara. The wand is amazing. It literally coats every single lash, adds length to them. Like, I have non-existent lashes, and I feel like you can kind of see them. It's thanks to this. It's also waterproof, which means it's gonna last you all day. It doesn't flake on me, and I tend to have oilier eyelids, so almost every mascara I ever use kind of rubs off on my eyelids. Not this one, not this one. My second favorite mascara of the year, and this is one that I was using more at the beginning of the year as well, is the Lash Princess by Essence mascara. Also waterproof, also lasts all day, doesn't flake, doesn't smudge. In fact, both of these mascaras are really hard to rub off, which is kind of not a good thing because I kind of have to like really rub it off at night. The wand, I can't explain why. It looks like a typical wand, but it just really coats and links every lash. And my third favorite mascara was a newer release mascara, and it is the Tower 28 mascara. I don't believe in expensive or pricey mascaras. This is probably the priciest mascara that I like that I've owned, but it really does do the job, and the wand is like perfect for adding length and still coating every lash. It's also a good formula, doesn't smudge, but I'm not quite sure that it's waterproof, so it's easier to take off. And the main thing about all of these 3 mascaras is they all hold up my lashes, which is like my biggest pet peeve. When I curl my lashes and I'll apply mascara and then they fall like in 2 seconds, these don't do that. So these are my favorite holy grail mascaras. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next category, which are highlights. I know we all had our glow kit phase where we literally like
the streak was blinding. The highlight look, like,
I don't want that to come back, honestly. I'm gonna say it, I don't want it to come back. I like kind of like a dewy finish versus like a highlight, very glittery finish. So my #1 favorite is this e.l.f. Jelly Pop Glow Stick. This is like the perfect product for like a dewy, glowy, natural finish. I put this at the tip of my nose, a little on my chin, like a little under my eyebrows. It's perfect, but I think they don't sell this anymore. Like, I think this is like one of those discontinued products, which makes me sad, but I will find a replacement eventually. My second one had to be Champagne Pop by Becca. I feel like I'm still like in 2016, but I cannot help it. This is a stunning highlight. It's beautiful. And again, I don't use a ton, so it doesn't look crazy on me, but I love just grabbing some and putting it at the tip of my nose or like in my inner corner. This is like a really pretty highlight, and I wonder if anybody still uses it because I know this is kind of like outdated and not super popular anymore, but I still stick by it. It's amazing. We're gonna move on to our next category, which are eyeliners. My #1 used eyeliner is this NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Milk. I love using this on my waterline. Literally, I did it almost every day for this entire year. Like, this was definitely my #1 used eye pencil of the year. I love it. I love it. I do have one complaint though, and it's that it does not last past like 3 hours. Like, it looks okay now. It looked way better an hour ago when I applied it. Doesn't last like past 3-4 hours. If anybody knows of a good white like eye pencil for my waterline, because I love that bright look, please let me know. Please let me know in the comments. Like, this just does not do the job like I wish it did, but it was my favorite in 2022. My second favorite eye pencil of 2022 was the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. Again, one of those products that no one really talks about, but it leaves such a pretty like burgundy shimmery color on your waterline. I can't explain what it does, but it kind of like leaves like a seducing look. I can't even like, it sounds weird when I try to explain it, but honestly, this is a really good eyeliner. It also lasts all day, and I don't know, I just feel like this should be talked about more, and it was definitely one of my favorites in 2022. My third favorite eyeliner of the year was this Benefit Roller Liner. It was this brown shade, which I just thought was so perfect. Like, It's kind of steered away from like the typical black winged eyeliner. To be fair though, I didn't do that many winged liners in 2022. I don't know why, I just kind of fell off. Like I barely did any winged liners. But when I did do winged liners this past year, I mostly reached for this one because I just feel like the brown was kind of like a different vibe, different look. And it also kind of complemented my eyes. So this one is probably my most reached for liquid eyeliner. Now we're gonna move on to the next category, which is lips. And honestly guys, this one's just gonna be a fail because I circulate so many lip products, and this year specifically, I bought so many different lip products. Like I couldn't even start to pick 3 favorite ones. I just cannot do that. But I am gonna try, for the sake of this video, for lip liners, the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner. Look at how tiny this is. It's tiny now. This one was probably my most reached for lip liner. Next up, we have Rare Beauty lip liners. These are also really great and they last all day. And my third reached for lip liners are the NYX ones. All these 3 were just in circulation this year. I probably didn't reach for any others. I don't think so. Other than these were just my go-tos. Now for lipsticks, I'm actually gonna skip that because I honestly don't wear that many lipsticks. I think it would be unfair to try and pick 3 top favorites when I'm honestly not a huge lipstick girl anyways. So we're just gonna do lip glosses. My #1 lip gloss of the year was probably the Makeup by Mario Bronze Glow. This is actually a plumping lip serum, and you can tell how much I love it by the way it looks. Like what happened to it? I have no idea. I have no idea what happened to it. But this stuff is amazing. It has such a pretty finish. It has like a little bit of like a shimmery look. It also plumps the lips. It has a nice color. Like I don't know why I only have this shade. I feel like I need more, but I bought this a while ago, and ever since then I have almost always reach for this, put it in my bag every time I go out. Like this is just perfect. My second most used lip gloss of the year is probably gonna be the Tower 28 in the shade Pistachio. And you know what's funny is I actually bought this a few months ago, and you guys saw when I went to Sephora, tried it on for the first time, and I was like, I don't know, it's kind of like an oily finish, but it has seriously grown on me. And this is why you should never judge makeup products by the first try, because you have to try it out a couple times, or at least wear it all day to know if you really like it. And this quickly rose to the top. I reach for it almost every single time I want to wear lip gloss. So I'd say that this one is definitely one of my top favorites of the year. Okay, y'all, I think we're done. This is everything that I reached for almost every single time I did my makeup routine. I seriously wonder what next year's is gonna look like. Makeup is always progressing. Brands are always releasing new makeup, and I wonder like how many of these products are gonna get like bumped down, and then I'll have a new like makeup product to replace it. But honestly, these were my favorites, and a lot of these were my favorites since high school. So I have a hard time believing that they would even like be replaced. Again, these are products that if I were to just get robbed right now, or like, I don't know, if everything expired, which actually some of that stuff is definitely expired, but you know what I'm trying to say. If I were to go to the store and repurchase everything, this is the stuff that I would probably definitely repurchase. That is the end of my 2022 beauty favorites part 1, which was just makeup. For part 2, I'm gonna be doing hair care, skincare, body care, and maybe a miscellaneous section. So definitely make sure to subscribe, like, and come back for part 2 because I couldn't fit all of my beauty favorites in this one video. So part 2 will definitely have a whole ton of other beauty favorites because beauty is my life. Beauty is what I live for. Beauty is my ritual. So I definitely have a ton of favorites. But again, this was just makeup because I could never fit everything in one video. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely come back for part 2 like I said. And I hope everyone is having lovely holidays, even if you don't celebrate holidays, even if you're working. I hope you give yourself some time to just chill, relax, enjoy the end of the year because 2023 is going to be our year. It's gonna be our year. Manifest it. That is it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. I love you.